Welcome back to Sunrise. Court is in session this morning on Law and Thank you very much. On Law and Order JA, we're joined by Jonathan Morgan, partner at DunnCox Attorneys at Law. The question this morning is, my name is Livy and I started a band with my friends. We wanted to ensure that we cover all ends of the business legally so we can fully reap the rewards of our earnings to come. How do we protect our rights and music as artists, especially since we write, record, and produce all our tracks?
Oh, that's a good one.
Great question, because so much of the entertainment industry is vibes. And so, yeah, and we don't think of protecting
legality.
our intellectual property.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So talk to us a little bit about, give Livy some counsel.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Livy should be very mindful to protect her intellectual property, starting with the identification of what her rights are. So her rights involve the right to own. That includes the right to distribute, the right to reproduce any musical work that is created in the course of her endeavor. It also includes the right to earn income, and that's an exclusive right. It means she alone has that entitlement to earn income from anything that is created. And she also has the right to image protection. In the music industry, individuals tend to generate great reputations, and the protection of their image and the protection of their image is a legal entitlement that she should safeguard. So starting with the identification of the rights leads us, of course, to how those rights could be infringed. Livy should also be mindful to be cautious about any threats that could interfere with those legal rights in the music industry.
And what could some of those threats be?
Well, there are quite a few. In relation to intellectual property, there are infringements to her copyright. That is, any work that is created has some copyright protection attached to it, and any person that reproduces it without her consent has infringed on that copyright.
So for instance, if I am producing a radio commercial and I use some of her band's music as the music bed in the ad, I'm talking over it. Is that an infringement on her copyright?
Yes, it is. And the starting point to identify whether you are infringing copyright is to determine whether it can receive copyright protection. So the music bed beneath an advertisement is considered a work under copyright law, insofar as it is a creative expression by an individual that is capable of being recorded. So that information is copyrighted automatically, because that's how copyright protection works. Once it is created by an individual, it is original in its form, and it's capable of being recorded, copyright attaches to it automatically, and someone else using it without the consent of the creator constitutes copyright infringement.
What often happens in our market as well, or music market, is that people will do covers. Let's talk a little bit about, let's say Livy's band decides that they're going to cover some songs by an international artist, and the song happens to go viral because we no longer have the geographical limitations because of the virality of social media, right? What kind of repercussions can the person here face covering a song that they didn't get clearance for?
Interesting. So covers fall into somewhat of a gray area in relation to music production, and that's because, generally speaking, the person creating the cover is not attempting to impersonate the original. They're not purporting to represent that this is, in fact, the original song being reproduced. Instead, they are producing, sometimes with their own spin on it, they're producing another version of the song.
And you're not putting it on an album?
Well, generation of income isn't exactly a prerequisite to copyright infringement. So it's not a requirement that they earn income from it for you to bring a legal action. So the question is, are they in fact copying the original thing in a manner that is likely to deceive the public, or in a manner that is likely to create some confusion in relation to the original creator? If they are acknowledging that this is a song belonging to someone else, they are putting their own spin on it, so it's not a direct copy of the original. It should not violate the copyright laws of that international artist.
So like if I do a version of The Goodness of God that's really good, I can sing it on a show that I'm doing, for instance, and it's not a breach of copyright?
Well, if it's an entirely different version and you're acknowledging that the original came from another source, so you've expressly demonstrated in your reproduction that this is a cover of a song created by someone else, it shouldn't be. Yeah.
But does it require clearance?
Well, I wouldn't say that it does. I mean, if clearance was required for the covers that are currently in the market, it would have been
Listen now.
it would have been very onerous.
I wonder.
Some artists, Jamaican artists, would
have
not.
no catalogue.
Because they are all about covers.
Yeah.
Thanks to Celine Dion, for instance.
Oh, absolutely. But what I'd say is they need to stay very clear of some of the potential legal repercussions. And one of them, for example, is passing off. And passing off is a legal doctrine that protects against the copying of something in a manner that is likely to deceive the public. So if there is no deception, if you are acknowledging that this is the original owner of the item, and you're not copying it verbatim, so to say, so to speak, then it shouldn't amount to a legal issue for the person
If I
creating the
create
cover.
an original piece and I would like to have it copyrighted, what do I do?
Excellent. So copyright is a legal protection that attaches automatically. Simply put, all you have to do is create it and record it. But there are some recommended steps that increase your level of protection. The first, it is recommended by the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, that office located off of Trafalgar Road, that you attach the copyright logo to any written recording of the item. That is the word copyright, a year, and the C with a circle. That allows some form of association with this production of the item and the year that it was created, and perhaps even the person who created it. There's an old school method of protection where you place the recording of the item in a sealed envelope and you mail it to yourself by registered post.
Copyright.
And when you receive it, you don't open the envelope. You keep it as evidence of your copyrighted work. And then the final is voluntary deposits at JIPO. It's not a mandatory requirement, but you are able to deposit a recording or a written script of your literary or artistic work at the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, and that will serve as a register that you are, in fact, the legal owner.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it is the greatest thing is to know, as one grandmother often said. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Thanks so much.
No
Appreciate
problem.
you.
My
Always.
pleasure, as always.
That was Jonathan Morgan, partner at DunnCox Attorneys at Law. It's Dom Rep Week of Celebration. We'll learn more after the break. Hola, hola.